Hey everybody, welcome to BombSquad. I'm Dan Stacy, and you are about to witness my nerdy family and I use silly voices and exploding dice to tell a good story. As we officially... There was kind of a quasi start in the back, but this is officially Arc 5 of BombSquad and the final arc. So, thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here. This will probably be the shortest arc, but a lot's gonna happen, and it'll be awesome. So,
and by short, you mean only 18 months?
Yeah. Solid 2.5 babies.
Yeah.
One will still be in the oven by the time we're done.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Well, there's multiple people having babies at the same time. Yeah. And we will finally at last come to the baby picture at the end of all of this. And that'll be fun.
Overwhelming.
Oh, yes.
A lot of crying.
From us. And
Yeah. Do you have an RPG, Marie?
Not right now.
Is it air?
Electrolytes.
Electrolytes. That's
I
true.
got
I got
electrolytes.
some.
There you go. I've got my fist stick. That's about all I got right now.
The gut bacteria that actually make vitamins for you.
There we go.
Like K in some of the B vitamins.
Do they actually?
Yes.
I'm not aware of that.
Did a little bit of a study, me and Alex.
Send me a link. I want to learn.
All right. Well, if you find it interesting, look for that video on Dadbod Fitness. Otherwise...
I'm going to do a video about poop.
This could kind of work. Let's dive into the guttiest episode of BombSquad. Oh, I know what you're talking about. And we dive back in. Guys missed out on some really interesting conversations if you are not in the behind the scenes. They're just prepping plans for what you're going to do to the bad guys. Right?
Yes.
I feel like we're cutting around a topic here, but that's all right.
Well done. Well done. All right. Join the ever-growing forest if you want to know what we're talking about. And let's get into this. We are going to rewind back a little bit on the deity meeting as the deity meeting... What's up?
Not yet.
What's happening?
He's yawning.
I already gone.
Oh, we just started.
I'm just emotional. That's
Yeah.
the tears.
Very nice. It's my and his duct tape. I love you.
I know.
Okay.
Harry Potter glasses.
Yeah,
You are dad.
literally.
All right, so we're rewinding back episode 1. Welcome, everyone. We rewind back to where the deity meeting is starting. And as Grandfather is beginning to, while everyone is debating and discussing and discovering, Grandfather is working on powering up this insane level time spell to give the party their opportunity to enact the plan.
that's the level that they're at?
Yeah, insane level, yes.
Okay, good. When do we get there?
In 18 months, yeah.
So excited.
Things escalate quickly.
What, I get the I win feat? I'm sorry, I'm going to stop.
Yeah, it's good. Let's see. What do we call that? The open legend feat. You just
open legend
win,
feat.
you get everything. So while doing that, he's drawing, we're going to go into a mind palace that's actually kind of looks like the area, and he's going to have PimPam with him as they're going to take this time. It's very similar as he draws you in. Again, PimPam is right there and experiencing it, but this is also happening simultaneously in her mind, giving you guys are going to experience a much longer amount of time passing. Something very similar to Quinn. He's giving you the gift of time that you didn't have. And he's working on powering up the spell by doing a kata, and there's some very similar things to the things Tiri did when she used her ability with the hammer, because he has this large hammer as well. And it's in the field. You can see the heart of Daitos right now. And he pauses his kata for a minute and walks over to the stone, the beating stone, and kind of puts his hand on it and just says, "Well, my old friend, I think we are about to be tested once again. Perhaps it will be the final test. We will see. But I'm glad to be with you. And you, young granddaughter."
It's certainly something to be here. It's like a whole different reality.
Quite literally. Indeed.
Maybe the piece that holds up ours? I get there's something particular about this heart that does that.
This is the heart of Daiatos. This is the heart that beats and keeps this world alive.
Is it where the stream comes from? Like, is that what the blood is?
Yes, for the most part. It was long ago. He laid down his life. I struck his heart 3 times. As he asked me to, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And from it came the stream. Time, power, and thought.
Oh, I really wish I could understand whatever there was before all of that happened, but I mean...
There was so much, but also not enough. So much chaos, things coming and going. The things that went no longer even were. So much was forgotten. It is one of the reasons Daiatos did what he did. He alone sat, listened to the song. He meditated, waited, and in that stillness, uncounted, quite literally, he understood something, a piece of the song. And he gave life to all the beautiful art. And as he says art, you know that he's actually meaning like you guys, every living thing. The art of his children and his friends, artwork that was beyond compare, but just a blip. He made them eternal. Let us work a little on your new connection to this precious stream. Come spar with me for a little, would you?
Ooh, okay.
It will help me focus. I have a lot of energy and thought I need to pour into one thing. Let us begin.
Anything to help?
Hopefully it will help us both. He taps his hammer and the ground suddenly rushes up and you're on just kind of like a floating island. If you look over the edge, it goes into darkness. You can't even see the field anymore. It's literally just a drop in every spot. And what's it look like as you guys begin to spar, and what's PimPam feeling?
Does she have the stream binds presently?
She has the chains, yes.
Okay.
She's learning to control it.
Cool.
Because if you lose control, it literally pulls you like a strong current or a flow, and it will pull you instead of you pulling it.
Okay. So yeah, so she'll start out with like very energetic, very enthusiastic, big, over the top, just like getting the feel and the whir of having this incredible, not completely controllable weight that spins and wraps in its own kind of ways, and trying to get the feel for how it can whip and bend. But she's gonna engage with Grandfather right away, so it's like a lot of really big things that he'll be able to see. It's a lot of her exploring what it can do. And at times, maybe like it's way actually pulling her along with it.
Yep.
As it's even more than she can manage to like figure out all the ways she has to brace herself to hang on to the weight and the power of it.
Nice. I love it. So there'll be a bit of time there where I think PimPam can definitely tell, like, Grandfather's just letting you play, basically, for a bit here, where there's moments where he's just no longer where he was before. And every once in a while, after he's dodging your attacks or, you'll get a close hit in, he's scratching runes with his hammer into the ground in specific spots as you guys kind of spar dance around this cliff. There's several points where the flow of the stream pulls you right to the edge and you feel yourself falling off, and you'll always get like a little bump from Grandfather that showing where you were open, but also bumping you back onto the cliff.
And I think whenever like those moments happen, like PimPam's face goes from like crazy, intense, like power, but just like almost this moment of like this endearing catch where she's just like he was like right there for me, and just really like resting for a moment in that catch and then like getting back into it. It's not lost on her that he is spending the time and the attention and the energy.
Nice. As you're starting to get tired and feeling it, he finishes a series of these runes, and you're about to go off the edge, and actually he lets you go to where you're actually starting to fall. You just feel it pull and fall, and there's something about looking down into quite literally nothing and falling into it that doesn't have that thrill that PimPam would have from like a leap from a high place.
Interesting.
There's this feeling of just you're falling into nothingness, and all of a sudden the runes light up. Grandfather kind of crooks you almost like a shepherd's crook and pulls you back in, and this wall comes up all the way around this island, right on the edge. You can actually see the edge of the land, and then this boundary, this kind of huge wall comes up, and you kind of bump into it. He pulls you back, but you still have some forward momentum, and you bump into the wall. You are doing quite well, young granddaughter.
Oh, well, thanks. It's hard to know. We're not going up against a normal opponent here.
No.
Just like I mean, I can only imagine, but I imagine he's more than I imagine. Like he's like that imagination that you get to once you've gotten there.
Yes, I hope so. I don't completely know yet either. At least, this me.
Haven't you seen him?
Oh, yes. Many times, but it was never enough. There's never enough time.
How can that be true for you? I mean, you made it, your friend made it. Like, don't you just have all the time?
I wish. We do have all, but it will end one day. And we are all bound to the stream. Dietos and I knew this when we began this project. We would all be bound to it. And that was a cost worth paying. To have you, all of you. But let me speak to one thing in particular. We seek, guardians of the stream, the truest freedom for all. That is one of the sacrifices Dietos gave to give each of these artworks their own story. But what that looks like is not all understand. When we were without, and the wall disappears, did you feel it? The falling into the abyss.
It honestly wasn't as exciting as it normally would have been.
That was a fall into nothingness. Before the stream, that was what would happen. When there is no guide, when there is no meaning, everything becomes nothing. These bounds, and he taps it again, the wall comes up. If there were children here, if they were playing, as we were spying, you had to hold back, yes. Anytime you came close to the edge, you had to adjust. If you went off into the nothing, you would be lost. The fight would be lost. Your story, lost. There are bounds that we must abide. And if they are there, right at the edge, then you can run full charge at them and know that they will be there. You can touch the edge and fear nothing. It gives the most choice.
PimPam's is gonna look like very, very contemplatively at Grandfather, and then kind of like, not disrespectfully, just kind of lilt over towards the wall. You see the wall doesn't quite touch?
You can go to the edge, and then they're
Right.
touching.
Okay. So she's gonna walk over to it and put her hand on it. You're like, but children born in the bounds of the wall don't know there's nothing on the other side. You can only imagine that there's something else. I know there's nothing else. I've experienced that there's nothing beyond the edge, but otherwise it would still feel like a cage. It might be caring, but if there's... I think she'll kind of like take egress and kind of like scratch kind of like something like a window. A little frame with a couple little glass things in there. There's no way to know that it's for our good.
That's why we are here. And born in the stream, we are born with that knowledge. It needs only to be awakened. If one does not pass this on, all is lost. You will become as 𝑧𝒐𝒏𝒄𝒂. To get outside, to be outside, is worse than death.
But if someone knew that and just made the choice, isn't it still their choice? At least, like, just having a door, maybe no one would ever want to go through it, but...
The door is always there. What I speak is to choose, to play within the bounds.
You can only choose if there's a door.
There is always. 𝑧𝒐𝒏𝒄𝒂 is living proof of that. No one is stopping anyone from going into the nothingness, into loss. So many have, so many. But you would not know, for now they are forgotten. There is nothing beyond. And if you learn to play within the bounds, carefully, when you know them intimately, you can do more than you could possibly imagine. And he begins to start a kata again, and actually phases with the wall. And then it starts dancing around you. It's actually pulling you in and squeezing you tight. But then all of a sudden it's gone again, and it's at the edges, and he's sitting up on top of it. I know the bounds intimately.
You made them.
I learned them. It was the song that taught us. A song before all. Even first father. As I said, he listened. He sat, meditating, taking it in, waiting for the understanding to unfold. And he did not even learn all. But in his patience, he gained understanding. We are learning about a thing that defines all things. We all have a start. We will all have an end.
Most people will probably never run into the wall. But for those who do, if it's as good as you say, maybe they should find something more than just merely a wall. People resent finding that.
I think you're speaking for you.
I'm speaking for many.
We all live within restrictions. There's nothing. If you no longer had a body, you would not be you. You are restricted by your body. You are restricted by your mind. You can grow it, expand it.
But it doesn't feel like it's somebody else's choice. It's just what I have. If this wall is still somebody else's choice and not mine, well, my only choice is when I know I don't want to go through it. And I don't. But I chose it. It's not the wall that's keeping me in anymore. The wall's keeping me safe, and the choice is keeping me in.
If you choose to stay within the bounds, then you are choosing to trust in its strength. As I said, if you pass beyond, you become 𝑑𝒐𝒏𝒄𝒂. He is, in the end, nothing. He is only what he consumes, and eventually, he will consume himself.
Do you have to consume others to get beyond it?
To get beyond reality itself. Everything comes at a price, even good things. And the price to pay to get beyond is yourself.
I think what you're saying is it's as true for me as it is for you.
Yes.
I think I got it. My mind's just wired to work in ways to find ways out. I'm not trying to say I'm finding a way out. I'm just saying it's...
Test it. I do not want you to not test it. Test, learn, understand. But make sure that you take the time to understand.
Okay, so with that, she's going to take the chain... Can it reach the top?
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to take the chain, try and like throw it up to the top, and do kind of a spelunking thing where like she like kind of bounces back and forth off of the walls, literally testing it, like kind of like swinging stronger and stronger, hitting in to the walls, really slamming, kicking off to the other, and then at one point is going to kick off, pull up, and try and flip over to the other side, but leaving it chained at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And run on the outside of the wall for a moment, if this is a thing that can be done.
Yeah, I think...
Really trusting the walls.
Yeah.
The walls are still the strength, the support, and the boundary.
Yep.
She is outside as much as she needs to be, and then will pop back up and sit next to Grandfather.
Yeah, that's perfect. When you're outside, on the edge, as long as you have contact with the wall, you feel sturdy. You feel intact. Anytime your hand kind of slips off, whenever your feet each step, you can feel that pull to emptiness, to just a loss of self. It's almost like memories even are going away.
So she'll pop back up in, sit next to him, and lean on him, and so like, I think I can test the wall, but I want you to know I can trust you.
Of course. I am as much a part of it as we all are in the end.
Let's hope that it's a good end.
Indeed.
Wait, have you seen it? Do you know?
Yes and no. Beyond the stream, when it ends, I cannot say. But there is a part of me that has gone there. And I think he wants me to enjoy the ride.
Well,
Now,
you're no at heart. Yeah.
you are a piece of my heart, young one. Now, while this
Am I
is
the
happening,
piece that tries to break through and... Never mind.
we all have a story to tell. Let us deal with this new story, this spaceman. At the same time, this is when Grandfather's bringing Brick in.
Yes, please.
Yup, and he comes in. We are going to bring him in.
He needs a place. I think the two of you are going to get along really well. Like, he's from a place with, like, thought and technology and something he calls science and, like, building things. So, I think that really, like, Brick should be, like, you should be, like Brick's deity thing, too. I think that you'd really get along. Like, you should see just, like, what he's built into.
I am quite fascinated, and there is a familiar scent to him. You're gonna be in this pillar place.
He's savory too.
What do you think,
A little salty too.
Lady Adalia? This is when Brick, you're standing there in the deity meeting, and all the talking is going on. And it's actually going, this is like throughout the talking. So you guys are experiencing different flow of time from the meeting. But as Grandfather says that, you suddenly realize you're looking at Grandfather standing there. And then behind him, it's almost as if she slowly materializes. There's like leaves and some flowers that blow for a second. And Adalia is standing there with a very intense stare right at Brick.
So what is it? So we are in the deity meeting. But we're like able to
Yeah, you're like
perceive
experiencing this.
multiple things.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's less that we're like
Wibbly
physically-
wobbly.
Okay.
Shout out to Adam.
So in my head, I had it as she's in the meeting and has a Galadriel moment.
Oh, cool.
That's how I saw it.
Sure.
But
No, go
you
ahead.
can be there.
I was thinking it was both. I think that it starts for Brick maybe, and that's when the two of you appear next. Because Grandfather knew what you were probing into
Yes.
his mind.
So Brick would start feeling the probing happening, but it feels like warmth and not threatening in a way. But you do have the feeling of somebody kind of going through your head. And she speaks to you, mouth is not moving. Metal Golem. Who are you? What are you? You smell familiar. Primal. You've been outside the stream. You can go out again. You can bring Imlandrin back. Bring him back to us. And she's gonna glance down at Quinn. And that's when the connection will break and she's back in the meeting.
You are rather strange. But I agree. The artwork. One who knows the artist well can see it. You have their touch. I do not think it is quite right to say you are out of the stream, but along perhaps a different tributary. You are growing closer to this world all the time, but the All-Mother is right. You can step beyond what we are bound to. He looks deep inside you, though. You almost feel like he's like disassembling the armor and looking at each part. But it takes its toll. You feel it. Do you not?
Is Brick able to even
Yeah.
talk?
This is the brick in the Mind Palace with PimPam and Grandfather.
Okay. Brick would just snap out of it from Idalia talking to him. Is PimPam there?
Yeah.
Is it just PimPam, me, and
You can
Grandfather?
pull in anyone you want if you want for RP, but...
okay? Just as like a sanity check, like okay,
Oh,
somebody
yeah,
else
yeah,
is
yeah.
here.
Yes.
Oh, right, yeah. No, this is Grandfather. We've met. You met.
This stream, time and space, whatever you want to call it. I think I did leave it. I left one and came to another.
It is as I thought. You've skipped over to another stream. Not another stream. I like tributary, yes. Because they all seem to come from the same source.
Like a bunch of streams that are flowing into one place, or like one spring that has lots of streams that go out from it.
Yes, the latter. There is a spring, and flowing out of it. Because the familiarity is undeniable.
There's people here.
Yes. Children, artwork of the primal dragons. I think they made you.
Brick is gonna think of B and just kind of chuckle. To get here, to get to this stream, it cost everything.
Grandfather's gonna do a little look at PimPam when Brick says that. Cost. As I thought. And you were only skipping between. So... we will have to see. But I think you can still reach out.
Brick's gonna have a little bit of hesitation and fear in his face. And he's gonna shake his head. No. Look, I don't know if you can get me back. I don't know what's possible. But you can't bring back what's here. There's when we left, we found something. And it can't get back.
I fear it may be too late. But there is something different about you, even from the works of the dragons. There is two in there. Again, he's doing that breakdown. But you are one soul. Perhaps that keeps you safe in some way. We do not have time. Time we never have. But if you are willing to walk forward, we will need you in this.
He's gonna gesture towards, like, the party. I'm here for them.
You always have been.
He's gonna give like a little elbow.
Very well. Come join us in the spa for a little while. Now we're gonna. Cause I like the idea that Brick, Brick actually sparring with PimPam and actually translating some of that strategy and things that you guys had started to talk about. PimPam wanting Brick to teach her about decision making and everything. So ratcheting forward to, because we'll go back again at some point, but ratcheting forward to time spell. Ulukan is raising up, his horns have become giant, and this huge sword, and he's charging right at the white dragon, who's looking up to the sky as Saint Neri is like holding onto his one leg and just like creepily nuzzling onto him. Falcon and Adalia and Marosha are standing there with Nahazik just having turned his back facing the white dragon with the other three behind him. Or actually, I think Falcon was next to him. And all the other deities in there too. everything freezes, and you guys all blink for a second as that weight of just the pressure of the presence of the deities comes off of you for a brief moment. You can feel it radiating off of their bodies, but for a moment, Grandfather is suppressing it. What's our first roll for the challenge event? Based on the plan.
Well, I was just thinking Marosha told Aurora to be cautious and be open to temporarily aligning with Nahazik in order to find out what is happening. So,
and I should say, we've talked a lot behind the scenes on Discord about where we're going. So that's why we're going to do like bouncing back. So if there's any bounce back any of you guys want to do before the first roll, because obviously plans have changed.
She's going to deafen Valak for a second.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Hopefully in just like the craziness. That would be the first thing.
Sure. You might need to roll a deception. Unless you just want him to be deafened.
I thought he could be deafened in the craziness.
Right, if you don't want him to know it's you.
Oh.
I'm fine with you deafening him. It's the question of whether he knows you're doing it or not.
Okay.
Which would be the deception. I mean, anyone can spin me a tale.
Could PimPam, like, do the rest of us know the timing on what Grandfather's doing? Or is PimPam more keenly aware of that? Can she signal
Sure. Yeah, I like that.
To the group of just on the timing, kind of give like, she's like watching Grandfather wind up and just be like, 3, 2, 1. So that people can just be like, that ready.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
So we would have to go back to what the plan was.
Sure. Let's do that.
Okay. So before the meeting, we all meet with Valak?
That was what you guys had originally planned. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we all met together with Valak, and Aurora says we have the tools.
I knew you did.
I brought them for you. We need the gate opened first.
That I can do. He is too prideful. He will never suspect me to come in and open his secret door.
We'll kill him together.
I don't think there's anything he can say. He just stands up really tall, and you can see him have this far-off look that he's seeing that vision he had. But then he looks around at everybody else. Slight grimacing smile. Then what?
We make a new world.
And all are willing. I did not say you had to like it. I only said you must be willing.
Willing. Just willing.
Very well. When the time comes, the door will be open. have the tools ready. I know how to use them. I know what needs to be done. Be prepared.
See, the problem is that Aurora can't talk to Iliad unless she talks to him.
You guys
That's
can.
why-
We had talked about everyone's kind of like mentally linked through the deity.
Okay.
So you guys can be talking. You're all fully aware of what happened in the deity game, and you can also communicate with each other in this time. That's our representation of our Discord chats, is you guys mentally discussing this.
So Aurora would tell Iliad, do a phantasm. Now, switch them.
Yes.
It's just, I mean, with the complete awareness,
Yep. All right.
just kind of nodded.
First challenge event roll of the night. As always, you can spend feats. I did give them upgraded deific items. Of course, PimPam has received her deific item. We'll give that a shout out when she uses it. And some other bonus stuff. So items and feats and perks can be advantages on the roll since we're doing a challenge event. It is opposed rolls, so this one's opposed to Valak. Don't forget your extraordinary focus.
Me?
I'm giving you my share.
Ooh, a share legend point. All right, I'm going. Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll spend one in the process.
Two
So
advantage.
he's rolling 3d10s.
3d10s, yes, as if
D8s.
right, but you got extraordinary focus, so it bumps you up one for influence.
All right.
Excuse me. Let's switch the music.
So you
up here.
roll 5
Ten.
d10.
10. 10. I need another.
Oh, there's one
Oh,
right there.
that's it.
So
That is?
CR is 21.
don't know
21 is your
You've
target.
got it, buddy.
Oh,
Yeah, crush it.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, he's good. That means the D20's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
Crushed it.
Yeah, that's exactly where I looked. do I drop?
So you're
it?
at
And do I see an exploding
4 of
D10?
them.
He's keeping 4 because he was
keeping
at
4.
advantage with the
Lowest.
legend point. Yep. Plus 1.
Okay. 17, 24, 32, 39.
He said we didn't have
49.
to like it. He doesn't have to like it either.
56.
56. Wow.
I'm playing a beautiful sonnet.
Absolutely. Yes.
awesome.
All right, that's 2 successes because that's an exceptional success there.
Shebang.
For sure. All right. Black will be failures. Oh, forgot to say. The first round is going to be 6 successes, 3 failures. So, let's do it. So, you have, we might do a couple rolls here. Let's do a couple rolls and then we'll see what happens here. So as Iliad's creating this phantasm and Valak's unlocking the door to the soul palace of the white dragon, what else is happening?
Pim, jump.
So Pim's gonna reach out, throw an arm around Brick and Quinn. Yes, Brick and
Quinn.
And Quinn,
Yep.
yep.
And is going to imagine as best she can what this internal void of the dragon is, trying to capture that vision and feeling of the emptiness of being off the bounds.
Yeah. Oh, very
Because
nice.
that was that
Absolutely.
idea, that feeling of nothingness and just the zen and the peace and the emptiness that she's been able to achieve while waiting here, and just realize she's there. There's no step or a leap to her because it's simply just, and then there's void. And the greatest source of that around being the dragon trusts she is in that space.
Beautiful. Very cool.
Real quick.
Yeah.
In almost a slow-mo fashion, as he feels PimPam's arm go around him, Quinn is gonna, in the briefest of moments, gonna lock eyes with his mom. And there's just this one tear that's going down his face, is the dragon side of his face. And there is a recognition of what he has to do.
Do you want to flash back to any kind of scene right this moment or save it? Maybe save it for your first roll, because I think we should have everybody roll.
Sure,
So
we'll
you
do
can
that.
think about it for a second?
Yeah, we'll do that.
I love it. I absolutely love that. So then we'll have PimPam roll teleport, roll her movement, movement. You got advantages from your boon focus. Now that, and you're taking technically 2 people with you.
Okay.
And going outside. So what? Let's see. You're at a 7 in movement, right?
Oh yeah.
So we're starting at.
I'm starting at 2d10, and then I have
Yep.
boon focus 2, so I've got 4.
Yep. I'm determining the CR, so we're shooting for that 7, which is a 24 to invoke. You've got 2 people in addition to you coming, so that's going to put it to a 26. Yeah, so I think the CR is 30 because you are going somewhere you've never been before.
Share.
Okay.
But you have an advantage because of flavoring that with learning from Grandfather. I love that. So that's an advantage that you kind of know what you're shooting for. You just never
I'm
seen
teleporting
it
to a
before.
feeling as opposed to a visualization.
Right. So an advantage from that, advantage from the legend point. So you're keeping an extra die plus 1
Sick.
with the legend point spend from Brick.
So I just want to clear.
It's a good sound.
Very good.
Got some 9s, but they're not 10s. Let's see. So I'm keeping an extra die.
Yep. Plus 1.
Plus 1. So that's 20, 29, 36, 37.
Oh, very nice. Just shy of an exceptional. You scared me for a second there with your look. That is a success, though.
Okay.
I like the idea that as you blip in, it's more for you guys. It's more like the world ripples away, and you are standing on the precipice, looking at a giant castle that's run down. There's dark clouds rolling in, and it just seems barren. The ground before it, kind of like Lion King when Scar's over it. Like the whole landscape is just barren. It was once a glorious, almost like if Gondor had fallen, kind of thinking. The White City had fallen. This white castle once there is now just darkness. And you actually catch, reaching back with your chain, as you're feeling this, you're feeling the emptiness and you're falling. All of a sudden your chain hooks and you feel yourself holding onto that wall again, just like you did. And it stops you from going off the precipice into this scene. And you guys are in. What about Brick, Aurora, and Quinn?
I think Brick needs to roll will for all of this.
Okay.
Like, trusting the team, like he's absolutely out of his element, and gods and all this
And
stuff
all this stuff.
isn't really his thing. And on top of that, like 𝑛ahaziq has been the person who, okay, it's 𝑛ahaziq, that's been the bad guy for years, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, no, it's not. He's just grappling with all that.
Yes.
And also, I think getting into the White Dragon, he like gets this aroma or sense deep down of this dreaded familiarity that
That's awesome.
like he sees the glass
Yep.
in its when they were out there.
Save your roll for last, because I think it'll link with what we were thinking, actually.
Okay.
Cool.
Aurora is going to step up next to Iliad. Just and facing Valak
Yes.
and staring him down. And my thought was kind of like her extraordinary presence, but maybe it's more she's going into battle trance, so then her hair goes all white, her eyes go white, and she looks like her father. in
Nice.
that moment. So
I love that.
I don't know. What that
Well, you can
would
still roll the extraordinary presence. I'll give you advantage for battle trance and extraordinary presence.
I knew you
so-
were going to make me roll presents. I really don't want to roll it.
I mean, remember, throughout this whole session with the challenge events, you can't repeat rolls unless we come to a complete reset. So saving entropy for something else might be... You have advantage from extraordinary presence. I love advantage from battle trance as well as you're ready to go. Spending a legend point.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay.
Technically, Brick spent a share for PimPam as well.
So we spent 4 then?
So
Yes, it should be 4.
Yeah. And this is contested roll against Valak. Everybody roll a d4.
That's great.
You're welcome.
Such a
Two.
slush.
3?
Nice.
What is 3?
4 is pick.
4 is pick. 2 is reroll. 3 is lucky.
Okay,
4?
okay.
4 is pick.
You got 3.
The
bottom
for add a d20. Can that, if it's like challenge event stuff, can
You
it
just
be,
can add it. Yeah.
Okay. Was that one for me or no?
That was for Zach.
That was for Zach.
For
Okay,
the
okay.
last
Cool,
roll.
cool. So,
See, I
would be
wasn't
fine.
nuts.
Oh,
That one, it's on top.
Yeah. Some of
I'm
them
all
are.
confused.
the dice like me.
The dice do not like Valak tonight. 18
Okay.
is the CR.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, snap.
43.
43.
Yeah.
Very nice. That is exceptional success.
Perhaps I don't have to roll.
Perhaps not. We are at 5 with no failures so far, guys. But the start of the plan is the easiest part.
It's like literally my lowest stat. No, besides like a nothing.
Yeah. Those don't even count. We don't even talk about those.
But, so now her hair turns white, her eyes turn white. She's looking like her father, and she steps up with Iliad as the Falcon.
Beautiful. Yeah,
Father,
Iliad, I'm assuming you're activating, because you know the fight's going to begin as soon as this happens.
So we're like looking up at the deities. Is that
We're
So-
looking at Valak.
You're looking at Valak.
Oh, right,
so
right.
you guys are just inside the doorway. PimPam has taken the rest deep in. You guys are just inside the doorway through the dragon. So you're like at the belly of the dragon almost, and this parting door has opened, looking out into this strange landscape. And
This was different than where grandfather had taken us.
correct. Yeah, that was his own mind palace.
Gotcha. Okay.
And Valak, as soon as he's finished, he gets blasted back as he opens the door because the defenses of the dragon activate, and he wasn't expecting that. So he's blasted back and he's down on the ground. And he turns and looks and just does the slow rise and sees the paladin of the falcon burning there and the ferocious Abaddon. So, the cycle repeats itself. Very well. You have picked wrong. And we'll hop over to Quinn real quick.
I was thinking 2 different things. I think what I'm going to do is end up using Whisper of the Wild. I'm going to use my perk for an auto success, but it's essentially to have a conversation with his mom. And so this would be before. I would assume it was before the dragon. We go in, and even way before the time spell. The dragon descends, and Quinn is just lost. Any sense of plan has gone out the window. Any sense of reality of other people are gone. There's nobody but him and his mom and his dad. And they're finally together. He came. And he is just elated to be able to be with his dad again. And that everybody is here for this, right? He couldn't have come at the best time. Like he couldn't come at a better time.
Yep.
You know, for us to fight the darkest evil that this world has ever seen, you know. and then for him to witness what transpires throughout the council and the dragon, and how things are not as they seem, and his visage changes. He is so confused, and I think he's more confused at the response of the people, not so much as what the dragon is saying, but I think at the response of the people, and more specifically his mom. And so it's at this point that he is looking to his mom, without necessarily looking at her, but he's looking to her for help. Mom, what does this all mean? Do you want me to talk to her?
I don't know. She might
don't
be
know.
stressed out. We could, if you feel comfortable doing Adalia. Or I can do it because I know where he's going with it a little bit.
So, I mean,
I didn't think I should have talked to my wife about this ahead of time. I didn't think about
that's
it.
really funny. That's the face. I saw you go, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
I got an idea. Because we have children we need to put to bed in a little bit.
Okay.
Let's save that scene to start next time.
Okay.
So we can talk off camera a little bit to prep Kristen. Okay. This is how we do it.
Got it.
So let's end this with the first question. What's the question when he has this? Like they enter their own, mind palace sort of idea. Back at the field where he's grown up. That field where they always were.
Yep.
From the time skip. How would he start the conversation?
Is that really him?
Nice. And then we cut over to Brick. Brick, as the party has gotten their 6 successes, this is now an opportunity event, so you are going to roll your will. Upon a success, you guys will have advantage in the next round.
Do I get advantage from Ajax?
Yep, definitely. Let me think now. So you're doing will. I think I'm going to leave it a little to the dice. So it's going to be. I'm going to roll 3d6, 10 plus 3d6. No explodies. So 20 exactly.
A 20? I'm going to spend a legend point that
Nice.
I don't have.
Can I do it?
Ooh, nice.
Yay.
Do a share.
I'll do my share for this one. You're gonna feel Quinn's hand just squeeze, and feels maybe Brick's apprehension, feels Brick's starts to shake, whatever it is, and Brick is gonna do the familiar squeeze of I'll follow you, and we got this. We're together. You're not alone.
Love it. Okay, good one exploding. Oh, and I keep an extra?
+1.
Right. So, 30.
30. Ding, ding, ding.
Turn over.
Exceptional success.
Oh, yeah!
Very nice.
I forgot.
That's great. So I will say everyone has one advantage next round. For the exceptional, everybody gets it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, rather than an individual person. Nice. Give me a little flavor, and then we'll go into the thing.
Oh.
Because that's what I was thinking is
Yeah.
that fits really well.
Going back to when Grandfather was talking about, like, there's 2 in you. And Quinn squeezing his hand. Feeling not alone. But also feeling with someone and being in the White Dragon world, whatever.
Yeah. I think there's a point before everything settles as PimPam's teleporting you guys that there is nothing.
Yes, and that feeling of floating in the blackness.
Mm-hmm.
He remembers a time shortly after after the armor was created, after Ajax was created, back at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the first time we're like actually going back from
To the future.
no, but I was trying to think of a way
Yes
where I
and
could
no?
tell him he was right. But yeah, I'm going back to, it's the piece of the bridge falling down. It's in the middle.
Nice. Yep. We get a brick memory.
A 9-month-old brick memory.
Hey, it's another baby.
Another baby.
Yay. Make it wrong. Okay, here we go.
How much longer?
3 hours down, 5 hours to go.
I really have to pee.
Commander, as I've said, you are free to relieve yourself at will. I'm sure you remember you are catheterized.
No, that's weird.
It's only weird if you make it weird.
5 more hours?
At least, not including armor disassembly.
There. I'm peeing. I'm peeing. Are you happy?
Asking if your urine pleases me is the exact embodiment of making it weird.
If I have to be uncomfortable, then so do you.
Well, if your heart rate is any indication, you've been uncomfortable long before your bladder was engorged.
Please don't say engorged or bladder ever again. Are you monitoring me?
Yes, that's part of my job.
Just feels invasive. Are you reading my thoughts too?
Why, yes. Let me close my eyes and conjure a visual. A memory. You're a young boy. A classroom full of children around you. You're crying. The children are laughing. Even the teacher is laughing. Your wet trousers on full display for all to see and mock. Ah! I've lost the connection. Much too old to void yourself in public. Simply shameful.
You're a funny little fuss lover, aren't you?
I cannot read your mind, only neurological activity. So all I can see is that you have some activity in your fear pathways.
No, I don't.
I'm not saying you're in terror. You're simply having thoughts that evoke a detectable amount of fear. Something is making you uncomfortable. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious as to what.
Can anyone hear us?
No, part of the vacuum test is isolation of connection.
I don't like spacewalks. Never have.
I see. I suppose that's a natural reaction for any biological entity. But I assure you, you're perfectly safe. Oxygen levels are plentiful, thrusters are charged, and the vacuum seal is holding well above desired thresholds.
It's not about that.
Commander, you're able to live in space like this for a very long time.
That's what scares me.
You're afraid to not die.
It's not about dying, that's... I mean, I don't want to, but it is what it is. And you're gone. But out here, it feels like I'm always being pulled, or I just can't help but think about it.
Think about what?
Being alone. Forever. In the quiet. In the blackness. In the emptiness. Eternity. Just floating in the void like this. Alone.
Well, as amazing as I am, I won't be able to sustain you forever. It would end eventually.
I know. It's not rational, just what goes on in my head. Something I gotta fight.
Well, if it's any consolation to your irrational daemia, you wouldn't be alone anymore. I'm not going anywhere. I can't.
Friends forever, huh?
Friends forever.
Does that mean anything to you?
What?
Friend. Look, don't take offense or anything, but do you know what that means? Not the definition, but do you feel like a friend? Like you have friends? Did I hurt your feelings?
No. If you did, I suppose that would answer your first question as well.
So is that a no?
It's an I don't know. I was thinking.
Long time for an AI to think.
Yes.
And you don't have an answer?
No. Commander, your question... It is simply an emergent question with a much deeper one underneath. You are, in essence, asking if I am sentient. If I am...
If you're alive.
Yes. Yes, if I am alive. That's a question that... Well, it has quite the philosophical baggage, and I don't like philosophy. If I can't answer that question, and no one else ever has been able to either, I suppose I don't see the point in spending cycles.
Do you feel anything? Happiness, contentment, fulfillment?
I suppose I feel them in as much as you do. When you feel something, in a very literal sense, I'm right there with that feeling, that energy, that activity. It might not be mine, but I'm there.
Well, I guess in the worst case scenario, I'm a little delusional. Just talking to a bunch of metal and circuits. But best case...
Best case, you've got a friend. An odd one, admittedly, but a friend indeed.
I can live with that.
I can live with that too.
Before I say what you all know I'm gonna say, one more thing happens. As the Quinn, PimPam, and Brick teleport in and this happens, I think Ajax says one more time, "Friends forever." Turn down a little. And slamming down on the ground is a manifestation, massive white dragon landing in the field before the castle, staring all at the three of you. And Brick, you feel this. Actually, you all feel this, but for Brick, it almost feels familiar as he raises up. It's not as massive, obviously, as the dragon you've entered, but this is like a full-grown white dragon, some kind of aspect of the dragon that defends his soul palace, lands. He raises up his chest, and this air from behind you, almost like he's breathing in and pulling you towards him, is pulling on you. And he says, "Hope has come?" Oh, I forgot it.
Hope is among.
Hope is among. Hope is among. Truth is mine. I am here. And at the same time, Iliad and Aurora are standing there, and as Valak straightens up and says, "You picked wrong," he is saying, if this was a movie, you'd hear both their voices saying at the same time. As he says, Valak says the same. Hope is among. Truth is mine. I am here. His hood comes flying back, and you get this full look as his hair makes him look like a viper, and it's kind of almost got a scaly sort of snakeskin feel to it. And behind you, you hear the sounds of and gwals of those with those moss flavors are running towards you, and they're rising up next to Valak as he draws out his sickly white. It's not burning white like Aurora's, but it's this pale sort of gleam sword. And this has been another fantastical episode of BombSquad and Avenue Studios production. Do give us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to follow the adventure. You can further support us and become a part of the ever-growing forest known as Avenue Studios by joining our Locals and Patreon community. Doing so not only helps us continue to create high-quality content, but you also gain access to bonus content, as well as our private Discord, and there is a ton... we're going to be getting very close to a ton of new things in our Discord, including some Discord-wide play-by-post games and a lot more that's going to be really cool, fully integrated with Foundry and exclusive to play only with all of us here and our supporters. So I hope to see you there. Check out the links below for the sound, music, and ambience that we use, Dadbod Fitness, Adam from the Interplanar Crossroads. Of course, join us for our themed collaborations. And thank you so very much for joining the adventure. We will see you next time. All right, bye.